still believe, right, that we're gonna have a very, very hot market 2026, right? I don't believe that we're in a bear run, a bear market, and people are gonna say that I'm crazy, but I'm probably the most conservative person that you watch on the internet, and I don't think that we flunked. I think it's delayed. You know what I'm saying? I think that we were supposed to get these numbers this year and we didn't because, like I said, liquidity usually runs it, right? But we'll see what happens. So, what are the levels that I'm watching for the S&P 500? Obviously, like I told you, I want to stay above 6,800, 69, 6,880 to 6,900 this upcoming week, right? And I want to see it push higher and break the all-time high that created on Friday. Okay, so that's what I want to see for the S&P 500, and these are some of the levels that I'm watching. Okay, to the upside. Now, after the S&P 500, let's talk about gold, right? So gold has been doing amazing numbers, right? And if you were listening to the trap, I've been dropping broadcasts since COVID. I've been talking about buying gold and buying metals. I put you onto platinum was super low. Put you onto silver. Put you onto gold. I put you onto palladium. Most people don't even know what palladium is, right? So those are all four metals that have been killing. Even copper is doing well. I've been talking about this all the time. We've bought gold, we've sold some gold, right, to other people, and now gold has been going really, really higher and higher, and that usually signals, right, some type of uncertainty. But even though gold highs tend to correlate with like bad markets, right? So usually fear, a lot of fear tends to push price up. What we're seeing right now is not just fear, it's restructuring of the financial system. Okay, the financial system is being restructured. People are moving away from the dollar as a reserve currency and they're looking for other assets that can help them get through. Now, they're not going to get away completely from the dollar, obviously, because everything is a process, right? For me and you, it might take a little faster, but companies that are big movers or even nations, right, they tend to do things with a little bit more cadence, right? Cadence. So, what are we seeing here is incredible, right? We had this trap box right here in the middle, right? And we broke above it. That's why I love these trap boxes because once you see a candle break above it, you better get your ass in because it's going up, right? So you see it here. We broke above it right around 38, 33, about $3,400. And then this next candle here brought us to 3,500, right? When I saw that, I knew things were going to get a little bit exciting on the gold side. So from 3,500 all the way to about almost 4,600, right? 45, 52 area. That's the type of numbers that we put in. And it's not that long ago. This right here was April. So April went down, gold come up, right? April, when everything crashed, gold went up, right? So this right here is definitely something to keep an eye on, right? So gold is dope. I like gold. I think it's a good store value, right? But I still believe that other things are coming to challenge that spot as well. And we're not going to be just in gold because like I said, now we have Bitcoin, which is digital gold. We have Ethereum. It's kind of like the silver of the market, right? Because the second largest. So some people call it the oil, but silver could be something else. So keep oranges and orange instead of orange and apple. So what I'm looking at is gold is running, but you want to see under it, right? What's happening with every other things, right? So gold is definitely something that to keep in mind, right? And what I'm expecting next is I wanted to go retest the 45.52 again, right? Because that was, like I said, that was the all-time high, but it's a wick up. So it's a price exploration starts, right? I want to see it go retrace that, create that new all-time high, close above that all-time high so that we can see a continuation. Now, remember, whenever gold stops running, you will see some of that money move into other assets like crypto, right? So gold, amazing. But let me tell you something better than gold. Silver is going parabolic. You heard me. Let me repeat that for you one more time. Silver has gone parabolic. Okay. And platinum is also going to do the same. Platinum has started running, and so does palladium. And we're going to see these things. China's running out of silver. There's going to be a shock in the supply of silver because silver is not just like gold that they actually just put it away and hoard it, right? Silver is used in a lot of things in the real world, right? We use it in phones, we use it in electronics, we use it in cars. There's a lot of uses for silver. So not only people are putting money into silver, but also people are still using it. And so that price is going to continue to run. And that could be a little bit concerning because, like I said, it shows crack on the financial system, on the global financial system. So what I'm thinking is exactly that. I think that the financial system is cracking, right? Since 2008, we already started cracking. Forget the crack, right? Now it's breaking, right? So about 15 years later, it started to break. The system is breaking now. And so gold and silvers are running because of that. And Bitcoin hasn't run yet as much. But think about it. Last year in Christmas, we were like $10,000 less than what we are today, right? Higher than we were today. So it's not a lot of difference. If you just were exposed to Bitcoin, you still would be doing very good. It's the outs that killed everybody because outs don't have stability, right? Whenever things go red, people run into Bitcoin because it bleeds less. And if people want a lot of safety, they end up running into stable coins, right? So keep an eye on gold. Obviously, I want to see those blue lines that you see, these blue lines here that you see on top, right? They are actually they're monthly formations, right? So that means they come from either a old all-time high, right, and it crosses over, or they come from a very important area on a monthly basis that you should watch. And look where we at now, right? We touched that area. Them trap lines be lethal, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't need too many indicators. I don't need the ICT, the all of that. I don't need that. Support, resistance, supply, demand, volume, price action. That's all we need. Follow smart money, and we got this, right? So as you guys can see here, the price of gold explored and touched that blue, but it closed a little bit above the second blue, which is around 72. Oh my, I'm sorry, this is silver, my bad. Silver, right? So silver went as high as almost $79. Okay, 70, yeah, 79.39. The price explored, it wicked up there, but it didn't close up there, and it closed here on this line about $73, right? So it still closed above this monthly formation of 71. So very bullish. So what I want to see next is I want to see a break and retest, right? So we broke out of that 70 $72 area. I want to see it come back, retest that, and then come back and take out this all-time high again with strength, right? With decent volume. And we have been seeing some decent volume on silver. And I like the fact that a lot of people will sleep on silver. And think about it, man. Silver, not too long ago, okay, not too long ago, was $30. Okay. And if you find if you rewind a little bit more, $18. Okay, when we started talking about metals on the internet, right? Because during the pandemic, I ended up putting a lot of bread into metals and gold, and I started screaming about that and telling people to get some of that in their portfolio, right? And then we multiple times told you to buy over again, and now look where we at, right? So this is definitely something that I want to keep my eye on. And then the other thing is this: some people say, "Oh, am I too late?" I mean, you lost a lot of the, a couple 100% on the move, but that doesn't mean it's late because I don't think that this is going to stop anytime soon. I think that 2026, we're still going to see the metals continue to run. And if you don't have a lot of money or you don't want to spend a lot of money on the upside, what you can do is you can buy option calls or leaps on the money, right? So you can go forward couple months, 3 months, whatever you want, a year, and you look for silver calls at the price that we're currently at the money, so that you get the upside from wherever we go here, and you get it kind of like a little bit of a leverage on it, right? Because you're gonna pay, instead of buying 100 shares of silver, right? That's gonna put you at $7,300. You can buy a contract that allows you to buy 100 shares in the future for today's price, but y'all not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do a whole explanation video for that. But the people that know, you know how we play in this trap. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that's silver. All right, so silver, gold, metals, all doing great numbers, right? Let's look at the platinum actually. Platinum 2, I think platinum is gonna do look parabolic as well, right? So I have been actually October told you guys to buy again on if you go on my broadcast and you check platinum, silver, and gold. I have been saying this for a long time now, right? So parabolic move on platinum, and platinum before back in the days used to be more expensive than actual gold, right? So don't get it mistaken. Platinum still has a very decent amount of upside. Same thing happened here with the platinum. Okay, so we got a parabolic move all the way to about 24.76. Okay, and then not too long ago, right around April, look where we're at, 982. So you have 115%, right, up movement 1 year on platinum because it was so cheap, right? People are not looking to it. They're just distracted by everything else. And so this is what you get, a parabolic move. What happens next? Well, want to see a break and retest. Let me show you live here how I actually, charge those lines that I call the monthly formation lines, right? If you see them here, I usually get them from a period that is, you know, a very important period in the chart. So let's this one right here. Look, this one right here is February 1980. Okay, so this is the high that they did, like it did right now. It created a parabolic high in 1980. Okay, so I usually get a bar there, and then I usually put it on top here. I touch at least 3 points. Okay, touch that, and then I do another one too. I like to do another one from the bottom of that actual high, which was right here, right? So the correction area. So I same thing when I at least touch a couple of points here upward, right? Now I bring that back to the weekly, and that gives me the next levels that I'm looking for in platinum. Okay. Why is this important? Because if something happened on a monthly, that means that trajectory usually ends up happening again in the future because price has memory. These are algorithm trading, and most of the time, it needs to interact again with some of these areas that are very important, right? So now that you guys seen the strategy, okay, now I'm gonna show you, right? So now that I got my monthly formation on, now I can knock the rest, right? So I usually do a little trap box here, make sure that we got that so you guys can see that area that it has been sideways, right? Consolidation forever, and then you get the breakout, right? So boom, and usually, like I said before, right? This is one of the only indicators I use. That one, and I use the EMAs as well, SMAs, EMAs, because they're so important to me. So look, if you had drawn the trap box, right, and put an alert on top of the trap box, as soon as that break happens, you know. Okay, that's how we catch plays. And so here, chart time, you got to put in chart time, right? Here, first candle, yellow. We actually got we got one break of structure right at the EMAs, right here, yellow, right? And then two yellow, three yellow. That third yellow, you already know. You had three yellows, like you got to get in, right? Because we're going higher. And as you guys can see here, we did, right? Weeks. Each one of these candles a week. So weekly formation. Then we went sideways for a little bit here, which I'm going to put another trap box there because always want to make sure that you're seeing these trap box movements, right? Whenever we go sideways, manipulation, distribution, whatever you want to call it, I like to add a trap box. So it tells me the bottom range and the top range of that. And whenever it usually breaks, if it breaks restraint, I usually like a break and retest, just like we did here. We broke out, then we came down, retest, and then boom, again, right? So I like that.